Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Well, apparently Lindsey Graham have made a statement that is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. He made a reference in which he says it was a sarcastic statement, but many times when people claim that they're being sarcastic, they're really just speaking from the heart. I understand what sarcasm is, and that didn't sound like a sarcastic statement. That sounded like something that this man really meant when he made the statement about going back to the good old days of segregation. Now, he can say that he was just being sarcastic, but it flowed off of his lips so very easily. He said it without even batting an eye. What do you mean, the good old days of segregation? And so he's getting a lot of heat from that now. And so now he wants to walk back his statement and say that it was only sarcasm. But what I wanted to say in all of this is this whole political environment that has been created is starting to cause a lot of things to bubble to the top. But unfortunately, we as a people, we don't always pay attention to what is being said, you see. And sometimes we don't pay attention to what's not being said. We like to focus on what it is that best suits us for the moment, right? But if we understood the way this country and this system has worked for centuries, we would stop entering into this delusion every 4 years thinking that there's going to be a magical person put in office who's going to do the right thing by us. You see, he's sitting here, Lindsey Graham sitting here making a statement, having this interview with this woman, and then he makes that statement. And that statement is just pretty much how a lot of them feel. They think that segregation were the good old days. You see, they believe that those were the good old days. And so when number 45 says, make America great again, how far back is he talking? Okay, Lindsey Graham was referring to the days of segregation. So was Donald Trump talking about that as the good old days, or can we take it a lot further back for him, you see? And so when we as a people discount what people are saying, and we don't pay attention, and we don't really understand where they're coming from, their mindset and all of this, we find ourselves endorsing a party of people who is definitely not for us. You see, this is why I always say neither one should get an endorsement from us. I heard someone say this, and I thought it was kind of interesting. It was actually Michael Moore. He said many years ago, I believe in the 90s, he met with some of the militias in Michigan, and he asked them, he said, why don't you all just establish a third party? Now, I've heard others talking about that as well. And for me, that sounds like the more reasonable thing to do. But in the grander scope of things, you understand that this system of blue and red, left and right, Democrat or Republican, this was established by the people who set all of the policies in place that we are living by today. The people who drafted the Constitution, the people who are making all of the rules, the people who are running things. This two-party system that we have, this is the way they want it, right? And they're kind of boxing you into a corner because they have created this delusion in the minds of people all over the country that if you cast a vote, your vote somehow matters. And the fact that someone can lose by 3 million popular votes, but they win in the Electoral College, that lets you know that this system is saying, look, even if this over here shows that this person lost, we got a whole other system over here that shows that he really didn't lose. He actually won. So we can put in office who we want. So they are doing things according to what they want anyway, but they're trying to get you to vote for whomever, you see, based on promises made. And it's unfortunate that the whole country has been duped into thinking that voting matters. We were looking at, it was a movie not too long ago. Anyway, there was a section in there where these black people, they were demanding that they get an opportunity to vote. And the white people that were sitting there, this was, it looked like it was back in the early 1900s that the film was set in. And the white people were just basically trying to prevent them, saying, well, we don't have any Republican ballots. And at this time, Republicans were the popular voting party for black people. And so they were trying to cast votes for the Republicans. Every last one of them cast their ballots for the Republicans. But when they counted the votes for that region, they showed that the Republicans lost because only 2 votes were cast for Republicans, even though there were dozens and dozens of black people voting for Republicans. The point they were trying to make with this film, and I believe it was, don't quote me on this, but I have to ask Watchmen, I think it was based on a true story, where the point they were trying to make was that it doesn't matter how you vote, they're going to swing it whatever way they want. And this system back then, of course, it was casting your vote in a container. And so from that particular region, their vote didn't count. They put them in the trash. You see, they didn't even count their votes when they were voting for Republicans back then. So this system is rigged, whether you want to believe it or not. It is rigged. Whatever is going to be, will be. Whatever they don't want to be, won't be. You see, and a lot of so-called black people don't understand why the talk about all of the politics during this time. It's just like around certain holidays, you'll have certain conversations around that because you're trying to educate people on what these holidays really meant, right? And it's not that we are trying to, we don't promote either one of the parties, right? Now, we've made that very clear. The point we're trying to make is you have other groups of black people trying to sway others. I have people on my friends list on Facebook as well who are trying to sway others to vote for Trump because they believe that he is best for black people. They believe that he's done more for us. They think that he is the better party. Now, when I say that he is not the better party, don't get a misunderstanding to think that I'm saying that you should vote for Biden and Kamala. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is neither one of them. Based on what the Bible says, I would not cast my vote for either. That's the position that I hold, you see, because neither one will keep a promise. They haven't done it in over 400 years in this country. So what makes you think now will be any different? What makes you think that now will be any different? It will not be, you see. And so our political talk, when we talk about these things, is so that our people can understand that we've got to stop being so easily duped by the words of others. These people promise things all of the time. Think about this for a minute. Didn't they make treaties with the Native Americans? And if you understand history, they broke those treaties. They lied. Also, didn't they promise us 40 acres and a mule? Whatever happened to that promise? Understand what we are talking about here. Understand what we're talking about. We need to stop being so easily manipulated by these people who have made it very clear how they feel about us. Why do we trick our own minds into thinking that they're going to be honest just because they have president or presidential nominee behind their name? Biden, Trump, it doesn't matter. The same thing. Someone sent me something earlier about Kamala Harris saying that she's a liar. Well, I didn't get a chance to watch the video, but no one needs to convince me of anything concerning these politicians. Kamala Harris, she's a politician running for office. Biden, same thing. Pence, Trump, same thing. None of them has any real concern for the so-called black community. And we need to stop trying to reach out to these people to try to do anything for us. What makes you think this is the magical year that someone's going to keep the promise? Why do we think this? You know why we think this? Because people believe that we are simple-minded darkies. That's why. I'm done with this video, family. Take it for what it is. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, okay? Share and like this video. But as it stands right now, I am finished. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.